Hey everybody, it's me, Stu Helm, the food fan, and I am here in my own house, food fan headquarters, FFHQ. Here are some house plants to prove that I'm in a house, and here's my kitchen where I do occasionally cook a food item or two. And I'm trying something new today, which is I'm going to be doing a TV show, for lack of a better term, and it's going to be me talking about food for about 5 minutes. Going to try to do it almost every day, and I'm going to stick to talking about food in general, the Asheville food scene. And today I want to talk about one particular restaurant that I went to recently, and that is the Lobster Trap downtown on Patton Ave. Now, the Lobster Trap has been around for about 10 years, and I ate there maybe like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. And I ran into the head chef, co-owner, Mike McCarty, at the Taste of Asheville 2014, and he said, Stu, you got to come back to the Lobster Trap. It's been too long. And I said, I'm going to do that, Mike. And then I saw Mike again at the Taste of Asheville 2015, and it had been a year, and I still hadn't been in. So Mike was like, what the F, Stu, you got to come in. And I was like, all right, Mike, I'll come in. Now, part of my issue was that the Lobster Trap is kind of expensive, and I wasn't sure I could afford it. But then, like a light bulb over my head, I realized that, the chef had invited me in, and that usually means that the meal is free. And so I took him up on that, and sure enough, he styled me out with a bunch of lobster and oysters and crab legs. And it was delicious, and he sat down with me, and he told me his whole story. He's a super nice guy. He's been working there for about 9.5 years. He loves it. He bought into the company so that he's part owner now. He told me that he's always felt an affinity for seafood. He seemed very genuine in his love of seafood. And together, I made him eat some of the food with me. And together we had some beautiful raw oysters. I'm not a huge raw oyster guy, but I do like them. And these were from Duxbury, Mass. And they were perhaps the best raw oysters I've ever had. They were very seafood tasting. Like, they tasted like the ocean a lot, and that's what an oyster should taste like to me. Um, and the lobster, of course, was fantastic. I got like a half a lobster tail and a giant claw and some big giant crab legs, and it was all really good. I love seafood. I grew up in Boston. Some of my earliest memories are of eating lobster, and I can remember when I was very young, my mother said, oh, he's going to be an expensive date. And sure enough, the Lobster Trap is a little pricey, but it's not any pricier than any of the high-end restaurants in town. You're looking at $35, $36 entrees, maybe a little higher. That's pretty much what you're going to pay at one of the really high-end places in town. And one of the reasons for the high price at the Lobster Trap is, for one thing, it's lobster. For another thing, they fly it in fresh every day. And they fly it in from Maine, and they fly it in from Massachusetts, and I'm pretty sure they get their crab legs from up there in Alaska. And that's expensive to fly stuff in every day. Now, they say in their menu, and Mike told me that they deal with places that do sustainable harvesting of the sea. And so you have to also imagine, though, that flying stuff in every day gives the restaurant a big carbon footprint. Now, I have never in my life not gone to eat somewhere because I thought their carbon footprint was too high. And to me, the sustainable fishing kind of helps me to deal with the carbon footprint issue, if there is one. Now, I also met the sous chef, whose name was Rakim, and he was really nice. And he told me that he had been there for about 6 years, I think he said, and that he started because he answered an ad that they were looking for somebody to shuck oysters. And I think he told me he was 16 when he answered this ad, or maybe 18. And so he started out shucking oysters, and he's worked his way up, and now he's sous chef. So I thought that was a great personal story and exemplifies how the food scene in Asheville, and maybe in any town, can be a great launching pad for a career. Even shucking oysters can get you going. And so I'm running out of time here. I want to keep these things around 5 minutes. But the Lobster Trap was just a great experience for me. The atmosphere is great. They've redone it since the last time I was there 6 years ago. It's a lot more homey, a lot more comforting. There was live music in the corner. There's a bar, and the bar scene was kind of hopping, even though it was like early on a Tuesday night. And the bartender seemed to have it going on with his customers. There was a guy playing acoustic guitar and singing some standards in the corner. Now, the little riser stage at the Lobster Trap is actual like historical structure that they wouldn't be able to tear down or alter if they wanted to. And so they book live music there every night of the week. And as far as I was concerned, I'm a big music snob. The live music was very palatable. In between sets, they played some piped in music, and that was less agreeable to me. I had to listen to the Fine Young Cannibals. The Fine Young Cannibals sing She Drives Me Crazy, and that's a song I can live without hearing for the whole rest of my life. And but other than that, the atmosphere there was really good. The service was great. Even though the meal was free, I always make sure to tip my server what like 20% of or plus of what the bill would have been. And so the bill was high, tipped the server generously, said thanks to Mike, and I walked on home, and I had a really great time at the Lobster Trap. And I can say, with all honesty, if you love seafood and you like lobster, and you maybe grew up on the coast, you're going to want to hit up the Lobster Trap. It's right downtown. All right, everybody, so that was the first episode of my TV show, which I haven't even thought of a name of yet. Maybe I'll call it Food Fans HQ or something like that. Food Fans Headquarters. I'm not sure. Whatever. But thanks for watching, and I'll try to do another one tomorrow. Bye.